Shalom Akim, your brother Ratazar Allah from GMS London camp. First and foremost, give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Hashem Yahushai. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of GreatMillStone. Salutations to the sincere Akim, the hopeful let run the four winds, waiting to be delivered in these last days. Just a bit of breaking news, updates on the war that's brewing in the Middle East, World War III, which is, as I said, it's brewing, it's going to be overboiling soon. And that pot, man, the pot of death and destruction, man. We're in the midst of World War III breaking out very soon, man. And these are inklings to that happening. This is Saudi Arabia blames Iran for missile launched from Yemen. Says warned it could be considered an act of war. And this is the time that we're in, man. Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter, said there's a time of peace, time of love, but there's also a time of hate and a time of war, man. And we're definitely in a time of war. All the things that are happening in calamities around the globe, countries falling apart. You got Spain, Catalina and all that falling apart. You got all other places around the globe, within Europe, outside Europe. The economies are just turning to shit. Pestilences are hitting the nations. You still got the after effects of all the hurricanes that hit over there in like Puerto Rico and all that. People are still, feeling the aftershock and all that. The economy's still fucked. Still no light in those part of the world, part of the lands and part of the worlds. So there's all kinds of turmoil going on. So we're definitely in a time of war, man. And this is the war to end all wars. Saudi Arabia has accused Iran up being responsible for the ballistic missile launched from Yemen that targeted Riyadh, if I'm saying it properly. It says airport on Saturday. It says warning it could be considered an act of war. And Saudi Arabia, they obviously they're comrades with the Americans, man. They're compadres, the Americans. They're basically sticking their necks out there for America, which is going to get themselves lined up in the World War III anyway and get themselves destroyed also, man. The Arabs over there, man. That mixed seed of Ishmael over there, which that's what the word Arab means. And you got Iran, which is obviously a compadres of Russia, man. And this is basically chess-based. This is basically chess, not checkers. And those it's coming to that checkmate point, man. Small pieces are coming together, and it's it's nearly a done deal, man. Soon America's going to be put in checkmate, and all hell's just going to break loose between them, Russia, China, and all the other strong economies out there, including Saudi Arabia, and definitely Iran, man. Because Iran is basically the last stopping place before really the World War III really breaks out properly, man. So that's how we know that we're in that time, man, because it's drawing more and more near to them fucking with Iran, America messing with Iran, and they're sending their little comrades Saudi Arabia to do that, man, to stir up more and more turmoil, more so-called beef, political beef. It says in a statement, in the wee hours of Monday, Saudi Arabia laid the blame for the attack directly at Iran's feet, just claiming it would not have happened have Iran not been supporting Houthi rebels in Yemen. It says Iran's role and a direct command of the Houthi proxy in the matter constitutes a clear act of aggression that targets neighboring countries and threatens peace and security in the region and globally, says the statement reads, as cited from AP. Therefore, the coalition's command considers this a blatant act of military aggression by the Iranian regime, and that it could rise to be considered as an act of war against the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, man. So there's not really that much left on the article. It's a breaking news article, so they're probably going to upload some more propaganda, to push that theme of Iran being the next boogeyman, if so to speak, and all that. But this, as I said, is just stirring the pot of war, and America, is pushing forth Saudi Arabia to, to speak on their behalf and to, push the bar even further, basically, to tempt, you know, Iran. And then when they tempt Iran, in turn, they're going to be tempting Russia, man. Because Russia's supposed to be a covering for all these, themselves and all the nations round about them. They're basically their allies. I'm going to read 1 or 2 scriptures and just close out, man. This is Ezekiel 38, and I'll start from start from 4 or 3, and say, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, and the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal. It says, and I will turn, and Meshech and Tubal, I think, it's supposed to represent Moscow, and Tubal is supposed to represent Turkey. It says, and I will turn thee back, and put hooks into thy jaws, and will bring thee forth, and all thine armies, horses and horsemen. It says, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, and all of them handling swords, man. So that great army is going to be Russia and all his comrades, man, including Iran, all his compatriots, man. And they're going to go to war with all the America and their allies, man. Which means Saudi Arabia involved, man. You know, because they got all them big deals that's going back to how long? Going back over probably 50 years or more, with all them deals with the you know, resources and that with Saudi Arabia and America, man. That petrodollar, you know, they're basically one of their top allies, man. So they're sticking their necks out, you know, trying to provoke Iran, and in turn it's going to provoke Russia, because, you know, America doesn't know what the fuck they're doing, but they think they're doing this, you know, to their glory, for them to just rule over the whole earth forever. But in turn, it's gonna bite them, man. It's gonna bite them in the ass, and they're the ones that's gonna be put on the shit line, and they're gonna get destroyed, man, by all the nations round about. This is you know, they said the scripture says it's gonna go up to the land of unwalled villages. I think that's in this chapter here. So or in this one of these verses, I'll read it if I can find it. So I'll jump down to verse 7. It says, be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. So that's what Russia's being, is a guard unto Iran and all the neighboring cities around about it, you know, including Syria and all that. So the more and more America keeps fucking around, sending their little cohorts, whatever you want to call them, to strikes, you know, to tempt their allies, the more and more the shit stew's gonna keep brewing, man, until it just overboils, and then you know, Russia's gonna start, you know, as it says in the scriptures, gonna an evil thought's gonna come into their mind, man, and then they're just gonna turn back to their they're gonna turn back to that nuclear war type state, that war type state in their mind, and they're just Putin, you know, he's just gonna push them nuclear buttons, man, on America's asses, man. You know, that's what's gonna go down, man. That's why they keep having these different military drills, and, you know, showing full their weapons and warfares and tactics and all that, you know, and they keep coming out with different ICBMs that they've created. So this ain't no joke, man. This is because these countries are actually gonna have to go to war, man, at the end of the day, whether it be now or, you know, it's a year from now, whenever the Lord sets it, man. But it's gonna happen inevitably, man. It's gonna happen. There's no fighting it against it, man. World War III is gonna happen, man. You know. Okay, that's there was another verse I was looking for. Maybe not. Okay, I'll go to the next verse. The next chapter. It says Jeremiah 51. And verse 3 says, or verse 2, and I said that, and I will send unto Babylon fanners. And that's talking about all these other nations shooting at their missiles on that bitch, man. You know, that's the fanners, man. And the nuclear missiles, and then on top of that, the Lord Yahweh Shai is going to come through them clouds with his holy angels, and he's going to be shooting them laser beams on America too, man. And he's going to come to deliver his elect when the four winds. It says, and I will send unto Babylon fanners that shall fan her to make that fire greater, man. You know, so that's the nuclear missiles going to be pelting down. And the scripture is actually said in the book of Ezekiel 38 at the bottom here, at the end of the chapter, you know, there's going to be hailstones, fire, and brimstone, man. I'll read it real quick. Ezekiel 38:22, and it says, I will plead against him with pestilence and with blood, and I will rain upon him and upon his bands and upon the many people that are with him. Let's talk about America and America's army, man, and all their allies, man, and the overflowing rain and great hailstones, fire and brimstone, man. So that's what the Lord's going to do, and it's why? Because it's to magnify his power, to show that he's the true power. He's the overall authority on it under heaven and earth, man. You know, because he ruleth in the kingdom of men, and the scripture says that he mustereth the host of the battle, man. So like, yeah, man, we go back to Jeremiah 51. It says 51:2, and it says, and I will send unto Babylon fanners that shall fan her, and shall empty her land, for in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about. And it says, against him that bendeth let the archer bend his bow, and against him that lifteth himself up in his bride again, and spare ye not her young men, destroy ye utterly all her host. So this war is that's why it's called a world war, because there's gonna be a lot of devastation around the globe, man. A lot of lands are gonna get pelted with their missiles, especially over here in the UK. This is considered the mother of America, because America was spawned out of Great Britain, you know, during the American Revolution and stuff like that. And you got which is in the previous chapter in Jeremiah, the 50th chapter. And then, you know, this shit is going to go down, man. It's going to be a great devastation, a war like never seen before, because you got technology that's been advanced and enhanced to the highest possible states of Esau's reign. And, you know, it's going to be totally nuclear, man. All that atomic shit with Oppenheimer and all that was bad enough back then, but this time it's going to be much more severe, more precise, and much more devastating, man, because of the power and all that's going to be used, man. And them ICBMs ain't nothing to play with, man. They can take out nations within the blink of an eye, man. You know, traveling from one part of the globe to another within, minutes, man, 30 minutes or more. You know, just devastating, countries and land masses, man, which is gonna do. So this is beautiful, man. It says, flee, verse 6 says, flee out the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of the Lord's vengeance, man. So he will render unto her a recompense, and this is what the Lord's going to do. You know, I think there was another couple of verses or scriptures I wanted to read. I'll read this last verse and I close out. It says, verse 11. It says, make bright the arrows. Talk about the nuclear ICBMs. It says, gather the shields. The Lord have raised up the spirit of the king of the Medes, which is Russia, for his device is against Babylon. This is America, man, to destroy it. So the Lord's going to destroy that piece of land, man. There is no ifs, ands, buts, and maybe. The Lord's going to destroy America, man, which is Babylon the Great, the daughter of Babylon, man. It says, because it is the vengeance of Yahweh, the vengeance of his temple. You know, he's coming to redeem his people, the elect of the nation of Israel, man. So this is a beautiful time for us. The Lord said to rejoice and be glad. In the book of Revelations. So this is a beautiful time for the nation of Israel, man. For the ones that are awoken to this truth. You just got to stay faithful and keep fighting the good fight of faith. But anyway, I'm going to close out. Give all glory and praises to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. And until next time, I say shalom.